I've lived in the Midwest of the United States. I spent years living out west in Colorado, and I've traveled all over the US and really all over the world. And all that time, I choose to spend my time here in Charleston, South Carolina, because it's really special. After helping 5,000 families with their move here in Charleston, I can tell you what makes people fall in love with this place and the things that cause them to leave within a year. In this video, I'm gonna share the honest truth. What's great about this place, what's not so great, and what's one cost you wouldn't even know about until you're surprised the day of closing. Let's get into it. Okay, so first up, the number one thing that makes Charleston so special is the people. Charleston's been voted the most mannerly city in the entire United States for 9 consecutive years. What does that mean? It means that everyone here is super nice. They're really polite. They are so polite because it's sunny, because it's beautiful, and because this place is a great place to live. Growing up in the Midwest, I can tell you people were a little bit cranky sometimes. It might be that it was cold, it might be the economy, it might be the Midwest just kind of has that kind of feel. Great people, these are my family members, my friends, people I really love, but they weren't the happiest of people. I've traveled to New York City. We have friends here from New York. Totally different vibe. In fact, they go out of their way to let you know what you're doing wrong. In Charleston, when you walk down the street, people are very welcoming. Not just to newcomers, to people that have lived here for a long time. You know your neighbors. You sit on your front porch with a cup of coffee, they wave at you and ask you how the weekend was. When you go to the gym, everyone's smiling there. They all know your name. Like, it is a different type of community and a different type of feel. And it's the number one thing that makes Charleston so special. I grew up in Michigan. We used to have to shovel snow to get out of our driveway. Winter meant being stuck inside for months. Going to the beach was like this massive vacation we did only once every few years. In Charleston, I get to be on the boat even in January. I could play golf in February. I can surf on a Wednesday morning if the waves are good. My kids go to surf camp in the summer. We go to the beach every weekend. I live in a place that everyone wants to vacation to. That's just crazy to me. I still have to pinch myself sometimes. The weather here is unreal, and for anyone coming from a place that has these real winters, yes, the summers are hot and humid. We're going to talk about the downsides here in a minute, but you can literally be outside in Charleston year-round. You can enjoy outdoor activities all 12 months of the year. That is life-changing when you're used to being trapped inside for half the year. Then you have downtown. Downtown Charleston is awesome. You got historic architecture, cobblestone streets, King Street with all the restaurants and shops, waterfront parks, the whole walkable history district that looks like you just stepped back in time. I've traveled all over the world. I've been to some incredible cities, but Charleston downtown is legitimately one of the most beautiful urban areas I have ever experienced. The fact that I get to live here, raise my family here, take my wife on dates here, and work here every single day still absolutely blows my mind. The restaurant scene in Charleston is world-class. We're talking James Beard award-winning chefs, incredible low-country cuisine, fresh seafood everywhere. You can eat at different amazing restaurants every single week and still not run out of new places that you need to try. And there is something for most people don't realize until they move here. Charleston has a perfect balance between the small town feel and big city amenities. Major corporations choose Charleston as their home. And when I break down the future projects that Charleston has at the end of this video, you're going to see exactly how these investments are creating a once-in-a-lifetime real estate opportunity right now. Now, Charleston doesn't feel like a massive urban sprawl. It feels like a place where people know each other, where life is a little bit slower, where you can actually breathe and enjoy a slow life instead of rushing through your life just to get to the end. And we all know what happens at the end of your life. Look, I could live anywhere at this point in my life. I've been successful enough in real estate that geography isn't a limitation. I've literally helped 5,000 families move all over the Charleston area. I know this market inside and out, and I choose to stay in Charleston. My family chooses to stay here. It's the combination of community, of people, of lifestyle, and of opportunity that makes Charleston different from any other coastal city that I've ever experienced. But here's what you need to know before you fall in love with this place. There are real challenges that catch people completely off guard. I'm going to be straight with you, and we're going to get into what makes this place unattractive. But before I get going, if you're seriously considering moving to Charleston, I would love to help you. At this point, I've helped sell over $3 billion in Charleston real estate for over 5,000 families. I know the hidden challenges, the unexpected benefits, and the downsides. And I would love to share that knowledge with you and save you some much avoidable heartache. Just shoot me an email at the contact information below. All right, let's get back into it. What do I dislike about living in Charleston? Now, here's the thing that nobody puts on the brochure. Personally, I don't really dislike anything about Charleston, but I've watched plenty of people struggle with things that they didn't see coming. So let me tell you what drives some people crazy, and more importantly, whether you can handle it or not. First up is always the heat and the humidity. Charleston summers are hot. I'm like talking so hot and humid from May through September that you're gonna feel like you need a shower as soon as you just took one. July and August are brutal. We have set the record for the most 100-degree days. 2025 was a little bit better. We had fewer extreme heat days, but you need to understand what you're signing up for with this heat. And when it's 100 degrees outside and you get into your car, it's 115 on the dashboard, and that's not fun if you're not used to that kind of heat. The good news is your body will adapt. You'll go to the beach. You'll spend more time on the boat. You'll plan your activities outdoors early in the morning or late in the evening. You'll get a screened porch so you can still enjoy being outside without bugs trying to eat you. But if you're coming somewhere with mild summers, it is going to be a total shock, the heat here. You need to think seriously before you move here about if you can handle that kind of heat. Then there's the bugs. The gnats of Charleston are legendary. Mosquitoes are an issue as well. And then there's palmetto bugs, which are really just giant roaches that fly. There's also fire ants and some other types of insects called termites. I have a screen porch because I love to be outside, but we don't like the bugs. And if you also like that, make sure that you spray for bugs around your house. You do learn to deal with it, but it's real. And it's something people from other parts of the country aren't always prepared for. Then there's the next big downside, and it's traffic. Look, 40 people move to Charleston every single day, and Charleston's traffic has gotten significantly worse over the last 20 years that I've been here. The main highway is I-26, and during rush hour, it's a nightmare. The bridges also get jammed during peak times, especially the Ravenel Bridge coming into Mount Pleasant and the James Island connector going into James Island. And also the I-526 bridge going both into West Ashley and into Mount Pleasant. Peak traffic times are going to be 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. and then again from 3:30 p.m. until 6 p.m. And if you're going from downtown Charleston to Somerville, at the end of the day, it could add 30 minutes to your commute. But Charleston's traffic isn't just about busy roads. Here's the thing, the city is surrounded by water. So it'd be great if we could just widen the roads, but we can't because the bridges are extremely expensive and they're fixed. I'll show you later why this specific issue is so hard to fix, and it's one of the things that Charleston could do better. So stick around, we'll talk about that. But for now, you just need to know that traffic is a really big deal here. I personally don't have to deal with traffic much because I live close to where I work and I don't have to drive during rush hour times. But if you're planning to commute long distances in Charleston, you need to factor your commute time into your decision about whether or not to move here. Another downside is flooding. Charleston sits on an average elevation under 10 feet above sea level, and we've experienced 13 inches of sea level rise in the last 100 years, with half of that happening in the last 2 decades alone. That means we get tidal flooding, sunny day flooding, storm surge flooding, and heavy rainfall flooding. If you're buying a property here, flood insurance is essential, and sometimes it's really expensive. The city is investing heavily in flood mitigation, but it won't heal it all. They're taking it seriously, but it's an ongoing challenge and it's not going to go away. Also, hurricane season is a real thing too. It runs from June 1st to November 30th. The peak season is August through October, and when a hurricane is coming, the entire city shuts down and evacuates. Mandatory evacuations do happen every few years. You need to be prepared for that reality. Now let's talk about the cost of living. Charleston is expensive. It's like not New York or San Francisco expensive, but it is significantly more expensive than most parts of the Southeast. The median home price in Charleston County is about $670,000. Now, if you look at the Tri-County area that also includes Dorchester and Berkeley County, the median price in Charleston is $450,000. This is up just about 1% in 2025 over 2024. But it is a serious number. If you're looking to move to Mount Pleasant, the average price is $935,000. Even Somerville, which is a value play, is at $360,000 median price. So if you're coming from the Midwest or somewhere with lower housing costs, that number can be a sticker shock. And it's not just housing. You also have property insurance costs, flood insurance costs, hurricane insurance costs, and all these costs add up. Another thing is school quality, and it varies dramatically depending on where you choose to live. Dorchester 2 School District in Summerville is one of the best school districts in South Carolina, and some Charleston County schools are highly rated, but others aren't. You just can't assume that every neighborhood in Charleston is going to have the best quality schools. So make sure you do your homework, look at the school test scores, and look at where each address you like is falling in those test scores. All of these challenges are real, but they're manageable. And when you know exactly what you're getting into, you'll know if Charleston's advantages are going to outweigh the downsides. And it's all going to be up to your specific situation. So let's talk about what type of person should move to Charleston. Given everything we just talked about, it's a real question. Are you actually a Charleston-suited person? Because after thousands of relocations, I can tell you there's a pattern of who thrives here and who regrets moving here. Let's break it down based on what I've seen work and what doesn't work. Charleston is perfect for people who want sunshine and southern hospitality. If you value a slower pace of life and you want to actually enjoy your days instead of rushing through them, Charleston is your place. But here's the thing. I grew up in Michigan, and where I grew up, people drove 90 miles an hour just to get to work. I remember I had an internship at General Motors. Everyone on the highway was passing me when I was going 85. That was just the normal commute every day. But in Charleston, the speed limits on some of the highways are 60. People drive slow in the fast lane. It might drive you insane if you're from the Northeast, but that's kind of what the pace of life here is like. If you want to talk fast, drive fast, live fast, Charleston's really not going to be for you. But Charleston is perfect if you're looking to slow down, to enjoy company, to spend time with your family, to have conversations on your porch with your neighbors. Another thing, if you're watching this and you're spending another winter trapped inside your house and you love the outdoors, Charleston might feel like your freedom. Families do well in Charleston, especially if you prioritize good schools. If you've got school-age kids, the school district questions define which neighborhoods you should look at. As I mentioned, Dorchester 2 School District is one of the best rated districts in Charleston, and Mount Pleasant consistently has highly rated test scores in Charleston. There are also excellent options throughout the area if you do your research for private schools. The lifestyle in Charleston is family-friendly. You've got beaches, parks, outdoor activities year-round, strong sense of community, neighborhoods where kids ride bikes to school. It is real in certain areas of this town. Also, if you have a military connection, Charleston's ideal. We got a major military hub. Joint Base Charleston includes Air Force, Navy. You have a naval weapons station here in Charleston. You also have the Coast Guard. We have all the resources military families need to thrive, whether you're active duty or retiring. And here's something huge. If you are a 100% disabled veteran, you pay 0 property taxes in South Carolina. 0. Not reduced, 0. That's a massive financial benefit. Because if you're in your 30s or 40s climbing the tech ladder, Charleston's growth makes sense. Our tech and cyberspace sector is expected to grow 24% statewide through 2032. That average tech salary here is about $130,000. And with Charleston's cost of living, that goes a lot further than you might get in San Francisco, let's say. We've got Boeing, we've got Google, Blackbaud, Benefit Focus, and major companies that are creating jobs here in that tech sector. The business environment in Charleston is also really friendly. The quality of life in Charleston is exceptional. Now, let's talk about the flip side. If you're someone who needs public transportation, I'm going to save you time right now. It's not this place. You need a car, basically, to get anywhere in Charleston unless you live downtown and work downtown. Public transit system in Charleston is minimal. Most areas are not walkable beyond downtown Peninsula. And if you're expecting an urban nightlife and 24/7 activity, Charleston is not going to be the place for you. We do have a great restaurant scene and we got bars and live music, but it's not New York or Miami. It's more laid back and slower paced. Also, if you're uncomfortable with heat and humidity, if you struggle in hot weather, Charleston summers are going to be a real challenge for you. So you might not want to move here. You just need to be honest with yourself about whether you can handle the heat. Look, if you hear all of this and think this is too much, it's totally okay. Charleston is not for everyone. And it's way better to figure that out now before you made the move and realize you made a $650,000 housing mistake. But if you think you can handle the challenges we talked about, Charleston might be exactly what you're looking for. It was for me. And knowing what matters most to you, helps you identify which specific Charleston neighborhoods are going to match your lifestyle. The challenges are real, but here's what a lot of people don't understand and why they're so hard to fix. We're going to talk now about how Charleston could be better. Look, I absolutely love Charleston, but every city has room to grow, and Charleston is no exception. The biggest issue is infrastructure, specifically roads and traffic. This is not a simple fix. Charleston's geography makes infrastructure improvements very difficult and extremely expensive. We've got the Ashley River on one side, and then the Cooper River on the other side. We also are looking over the Charleston Harbor to the Atlantic Ocean. All the waterways make Charleston really beautiful, but they also make it nearly impossible to expand our infrastructure easily and cost effectively. Every bridge costs hundreds of millions of dollars to construct. You can't just say, hey, let's add a couple extra lanes. Every single additional lane on a bridge is going to add millions upon millions to that project cost. So when the city is planning out a new bridge, they're fighting to get the funding for the basic capacity they need. It's a big challenge just to get approval for that. They can't just say, well, let's give extra capacity for future need. Traffic on I-26 and the bridges is a real problem. And without a viable public transit, everyone needs a car, which adds more vehicles to already crowded roads. As I mentioned before, flooding is another major concern that needs ongoing attention. Charleston's leadership has been forward-thinking about these challenges. There are major infrastructure and flood mitigation projects in the works, but these multi-billion-dollar solutions just don't happen overnight. So yeah, Charleston could be better. And that's actually what the city is working on. Understanding both the challenges and the solutions help you set realistic expectations about what Charleston is going to look like over the next decade. But here's what most people don't realize. These infrastructure improvements are happening alongside the biggest economic transformation Charleston has ever seen. And it's this combination that creates a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity if you know where to look. We're going to talk now about the future of Charleston. Charleston's about to undergo the biggest transformation since the 1900s. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm watching it happen in real time right now. The development projects are happening right now, and they're going to change this region over the next decade. And if you're thinking about buying property here, the timing or move could literally cost you or save you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Let me tell you about it. Google just announced a $9 billion investment in South Carolina through 2027. They're going to expand their data centers in Berkeley and Dorchester counties. That's long-term job growth and economic stability. Boeing just announced a $1 billion expansion with 1,000 new jobs over the next 5 years. And they're gearing up to produce 10 Dreamliners per month by 2026. That is absolutely huge for the aerospace sector here in Charleston. Then there's the Port of Charleston, already the deepest harbor on the East Coast at 52 feet deep, and it is undergoing massive expansion. The Wando Welsh Terminal has completed a $500 million upgrade, and the Navy base facility is coming online with direct rail access. All of this is creating thousands of logistics and warehouse jobs across the region. That's why Amazon is here. And all these big moves ripple straight into the real estate prices. We've also got the Magnolia Development Project, and it is transforming 192 acres in North Charleston into a mixed-use community. They're building about 4,000 homes, offices, parks, retail, and a marina. Then you have Point Hope on Daniel Island, which is bringing thousands of new homes into the Cainhoy area right outside of Daniel Island. It's one of the biggest expansions Charleston has ever planned. Johns Island is also exploding, with median home prices around $700,000, higher than just a few years ago. Then in Somerville, you've got Nexting growing into a master plan community that already houses over 12,000 people. Cane Bay is adding 1,000 more. And downtown's Union Pier is a potential waterfront district after cruise operations end in 2026. But here's the insight I want you to hear. When a big project is announced, like a new development, a road, or a major company, homes nearby start rising in price little by little as the project moves forward. You get a slight bump when the project's announced, then another when they start to construct, and then another when it opens. So the biggest mistake buyers make is waiting until everything is already done. By then, the prices have already appreciated. Now, I know the comments on my videos are always saying that there's too much growth that's going to ruin Charleston, that we're going to lose the beauty and the character that makes this place so special. I just don't see it that way. Charleston has been evolving since the 1800s, and we have the Board of Architectural Review that protects the historic district. The new developments also have to fit Charleston's character. Yes, we're growing, but we're growing thoughtfully. And honestly, growth is making Charleston better. It's bringing opportunity, it's attracting incredible talent, and is pushing long overdue improvements to our roads and our infrastructure. Charleston is becoming a major economic hub of the Southeast and maintaining its coastal charm. And that's really rare. Most cities either stay small, or they get stagnant, or they grow and lose their identity. Charleston has balanced this better than anywhere I've ever seen. After living here for 20 years and watching the city transform and helping so many other people move here, I am more optimistic about Charleston's future than I've ever been. And my optimism is backed by billions in confirmed investments, not just hope. The people who love Charleston most are the ones who understand exactly what they're trading up to and what they're giving up when they move in. And the buyers who are winning right now aren't waiting for perfect conditions. They understand that Charleston gives you lifestyle, it gives you community, and it gives you growth all at once. This is something most cities will never be able to offer. Now, if you're seriously thinking about making this move, don't wait. Just shoot me an email at sales@mattoneilteam.com and let's get you into the right Charleston neighborhood before someone else finds that perfect home that you should have had. And if you found this video helpful, you have to watch my next video where I break down the 13 things that catch new homeowners completely off guard. If you can handle all 13, you'll know you love it here. Click that video popping up right now. Appreciate you watching, and we'll see you on the next one.